It's podcast partner versus podcast partner, with the trusty sidekick podcast Bobby Hill facing his buddy Jay Washington in 20 questions on cars and driving and comic book movies. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be? And welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. You're listening to the voice of me, Ryan Budds. I'm a trivia host in Southern California, and I run about 16 different weekly and monthly trivia nights all around the West Coast. I'm so glad you decided to check out this episode 73 of the show. And boy, do we have a doozy for you today. Two comedians originally, my friends from Chicago, Mr. Bobby Hill and Jay Washington from the Trusty Sidekick podcast, join us today to battle in 20 questions on cars and driving and comic book movies. Now, this is a really fun one because they both love comic book movies. That's what their whole podcast is about, the Marvel and DC movie universes. And you can find their show wherever podcasts are found, Trusty Sidekick. But before we get to that, we do have some fun announcements and holiday bullet points to hit up. First and foremost, I wanted to read a quick review of this podcast straight from the iTunes podcast app. This is the newest one. This is review number 76. And it is from a guy named Mike O'Leary. I guess it could be a girl, but I think the email that they sent me, I think it was a fella. So this is from Mike, spelled M-Y-K. Mike O'Leary says, best trivia podcast, right mix of banter and trivia with great categories, questions, and the occasional trip-ups. An excellent listen for road trips with a group. Thank you so much, Mike, or Mick, if I'm saying that wrong. I appreciate your review, and I will be mailing you some very cool stuff very soon. If you want to leave a review of this show, or, spread the word in any way, I would greatly appreciate it as a gift from you as a listener for the holidays. That would be so nice of you. Leave a review over on iTunes, rate, review, and subscribe. All that stuff helps us get more eyes and ears on the show. And tell a friend about it. Somebody that likes pop culture trivia, somebody you would go on a game show with. They always ask you that when you audition for a game show. They say, who would be your partner on the Partners Edition of Wheel of Fortune? And you go, oh, me and my Aunt Betty, we used to watch this show when I was just a young kid, and we learned so much from Pat and Vanna. We'd be great partners. And then they go, sorry, you didn't make the cut, but keep applying and maybe next year. So yeah, leave a review, and I would greatly appreciate that. If you like this show, go back into the catalog. Check out our other 70-plus episodes. I think this is episode 73. If you're looking for some information on how to start your own trivia night, a lot of people ask me that, especially as of late in emails and tweets and things. Go to episode 70 called How to Host a Trivia Night, How to Start a Trivia Night, and you'll get an hour-long discussion with me and my friend Jim Fields from Nebraska talking about how I made it work for myself and how you can make it work for you. It's free info, and I'd love for you to hear it if that's something you're looking to do. Other great recent episodes, we had a toy trivia episode. It was a Skype call with my friend Dan Polydorus of Death by Toys in Chicago. Great custom toy maker, a great curator of so many cool figures and old nostalgic items. Check out Death by Toys on Instagram, and check out the great toy posts from Dan Polydorus, and listen to us go back and forth in 10 questions each over Skype on classic toys. So that's a fun episode. You could also check out the True Crime versus Buffy episode with my friends Tina and Sarah. That was just a few months back, maybe 6 months ago at the very most, probably like 3 or 4. And you can find all the episode titles in the feed. Just look for Buffy and True Crime. That is a really fun one if you like those topics. What else is going on in my world? I finally finished season 10 or 9 or whatever it was of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Season 9, I think it was. And it was a really fun season, kind of long. The episodes, some of them were like 45, 50 minutes. And I thought that the constraint of more like a half hour would have been a lot better for some of those episodes. I did love Larry complaining about a lot of stuff and a lot of crazy side characters. I loved one of my favorite lines of the whole season is this guy interviewing people to see if Larry should have this fatwa taken off of him from the Ayatollah. And this guy is interviewing Michael J. Fox about the incident where he was given the shaken pop from a previous season. And then at the end of that conversation, Michael J. Fox goes, soda, and he kind of hands him the pop, and the guy goes, no, thank you. And he goes, pussy. That was, to me, the funniest part of the entire series. Not even to do with Larry, but Larry had a lot of great lines and moments. Leon was great as always. Jeff, Susie, the whole crew. Funkhauser. Oh, man, Funkhauser is great. So if you are a Seinfeld fan, if you're a Curb fan, definitely check out the newest season. I signed up with a HBO Now 30-day trial. I don't really get the difference between HBO Go and Now. I think Now is like you don't have to have an HBO cable subscription. You can just get a separate one. And I think Go is when you're just signing in with your cable information. Nonetheless, you can do that and check out stuff like the Lego Movie, which I'm going to watch again very soon. I'm not plugging HBO Now, but just letting you know that's where you could watch it. I couldn't find any good streaming sites that had the current episodes of Curb. So sometimes you have to pay for stuff, and that's how it goes. What else is going on? I have a lot of holiday parties, so many holiday parties going on this month of December. And if you have one coming up, I still have a few days open, and I'd love to do your holiday party. Check out my website, triviawithbuds.com. Click the contact form. Let me know what you need and where I can do it, and I will do my best to make it. Bunch of parties. I did one for a woman turning 50 at a speakeasy over the weekend. That was a ton of fun. Not a lot of room to stand in this small back room at a place that I regularly host at called the Lincoln House. But they have this little like secret entrance that is totally disguised with mirror windows and all that kind of stuff. So it was very fun, and we did some 1920s era trivia, which will carry over into my live nights this week. So if you like the 20s, you like Prohibition for some reason, if you like flappers, you will love Trivia with me live everywhere this week. Again, check out triviawithbuds.com, click on locations, and find me where I'm at. I think I will be at the Pocock Brewing Company for the first time in a really long Wednesday this Wednesday. So if you're listening timely to this episode, check me out in Santa Clarita on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And again, book your party with me if you have something fun coming up. I am going to be in a movie, another movie, with a ridiculous title. I don't know if I can say the title yet, but I will describe the movie to you. I have my throat ripped out by a raptor, okay? So that's my scene. My character's name is Corrigan, and I'm filming that first thing in the morning, 6 a.m. tomorrow, so that'll be a fun story for next week's podcast. But if you like dinosaur movies, look out, because your boy Ryan Budds is going to get all mauled by a raptor, and I'm sure it'll be great. And I think my legs get crushed as well before I get mauled. So they're always after my legs in these strange movies. If you want to watch all the movies I've been in, they're mostly on Netflix. Airplane versus Volcano is a movie I'm in with Dean Cain. It's on Netflix. The first Sharknado, of course, you could find on Netflix, as well as the other four, I believe. And another movie called Snake Outta Compton, not out yet, out this summer. I'm a reporter in that. And then the big quartet is this dinosaur thing. So if my whole career in movies is being the guy who's like, ah, and just dying at some point, man, I would be a lucky, lucky dude. We have a great episode for you. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but we're going to dive right into this thing. This was super, super fun. I recorded it just earlier today. So listen for a great time. Play along with this one because we got 20 questions for you on cars and driving and comic book movies with Bobby Hill and Jay Washington. Here we go. Sitting here in Burbank, California, one of my favorite little cities, one of Jay Leno's favorite cities. He used to record here for years, and I would always say it at the bottom of the screen when you were watching The Tonight Show in the 90s and early 2000s. I'm here near the Burbank Airport with my good friends Bobby Hill and Jay Washington. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for having us, man.
His garage is still down the street, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Jay Leno's garage is a couple blocks away.
I've been told that the entire garage is coated in denim. Is that right?
It is true. Top
it's a warm
bottom.
garage, top and bottom. Yeah, the door,
not just the bottom.
Sure.
Just full Canadian tuxedo.
That's disturbing.
That was the voice of Bobby Hill. There's Jay.
That is very disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
Tuxedo. That is disturbing as hell.
That's what it's called.
You two are some of my oldest friends in the comedy world.
Yeah.
We started in Chicago together, I would say sometime in the last 10 years, right?
Yeah, that's how I met you, because you and I were doing riddles together.
Riddles Comedy Club, which I am the only club in the country I'm banned from.
What's funny is I've never been banned from there. I have a lot of friends who have been, though.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. crazy.
Well, it's almost from every time I've been there before I was banned, it was like they were banning audiences too. Hey, you like that joke?
Yeah. It's a rite of passage to get banned from riddles.
Yeah, there you go.
You ain't been
Still hoping to Chicago. Why are you moving from Chicago? You haven't been banned from riddles yet.
Do you know what I was banned for? I think it was.
You spoke up for yourself.
I think it was $40.
Yeah. No, Ryan is serious. I was there.
You were like, "Can I get my $40?"
I get that $40. He's like, "No, you're banned."
What? Dead serious. I was there.
God.
I remember that.
It was wild, but we had some good times back then. We did open mics. Jay, you were doing not a character, but you had an alter ego. Alter ego. Your stage name.
Character.
Your stage name was Trauma.
My wrestling name.
And your wrestling name.
Yeah.
You used to wear a lot of jean shorts.
You're like Bruce, but
Sure.
This is the part where I just look at Bobby and I'll choke the shit.
you're like Earthquake, but
I'll fight you. I'll fight you. That's all I'll say. Yeah, man. I started doing stand up under my wrestling name because I was like, yo, I need a stage name. I'm a black comedian. I have to have a stage name. I literally.
why didn't you just use comedian and then your name? Like,
He was comedian Trauma.
I was comedian trauma though. Yeah.
And you borrowed those jean shorts from the Jay Leno garage. So that was good.
got him off the wall. Got him dead off the wall.
We did a lot of
he has
shows
some
though
for
back
everybody.
then,
Yes,
and
we
I remember
did.
being like, "Oh, you know how you start hanging out with people and you're like, oh, this guy's not going to do this for more than a few months, or this guy's good." Like you were somebody I met immediately and was like, "Oh, this guy's in for the long haul."
Oh,
you know what I mean?
you were a biggest influence in in my career. Period.
No, thanks, man.
I tell everybody about you because Ryan started the 30 sets in 30 days. And when you did that, I followed suit, and I was like, well, I can do 30. Let me see about 50.
Yeah.
Then I did 50. Then it went to 75, then I was like, you know what? Let's just go for 100.
And it's funny you said that I invented that. I didn't. I saw that Jeb Cadwell. Do you remember him? Jeb Cadwell.
Yeah.
I don't think he really does a lot of stand up anymore. When I first moved to LA, we would always do road shows together. So if I got booked for some like podunk town, he would be my opener or vice versa. And but he had done a blog. I don't think he did a blog. I think he was just kind of documenting. I think he did 1,000 shows in a year, 500 shows in a year, something like that on Facebook. And this was before social media was huge. It was probably like 08, 09, 2010, something like that.
So nobody gave a shit.
I just remember seeing it and going like, I should do something like that one day. And then when I started doing comedy full time around 2011, 2012, I was like, oh, maybe I could just do something like 30 and 30, like the ESPN special.
Right.
And I could do like, I'll just write a mini little blog. It was actually notes, Facebook notes. Remember that?
Yeah,
I think those are still around.
Yeah, those are still around.
And I would do a little blog about each show, and every show was totally different. So it'd be like, I was doing an open mic at a Borders in Orland Park, Illinois, and some guy old dude grabbed the mic from me and started singing. Like just in the middle of my set. And then like the next show would be like I was in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, doing something crazy. Right. So it was like it was just kind of fun for me to write, and people seemed to like it. And then a lot of other comedians started kind of giving themselves their own challenges. So that was cool. That it led to other people doing shit. You know?
Yeah, definitely did.
That was pretty sweet.
And
Bobby,
you'll get famous off.
Bobby, you and I met through a mutual friend and the first ever podcast guest of this show, along with Nate Weatherup, Mr. Ken Garr. And Ken is probably my oldest friend in comedy from the South Side of Chicago. 2006, I met. Probably 2005, because I used to go watch before I did it.
Wow.
Barrel of Laughs.
And Ken Garr used to host the mic sometimes for Bill Brady. So I kind of was like, oh, this guy. It's weird when I think now, I'm like, oh, like at the time I was like, this guy's probably been doing this for 15 years. Right. And he had been doing it for like a year or two. You know what I mean?
It always feels that way.
It always feels
when you
like
first meet
that.
somebody, you're like, oh, like you haven't been doing comedy full time a whole lot longer than I have, honestly.
Sure.
But when I'd already heard of you through Ken before I ever met you.
Yeah.
And then I think I met you were in Chicago for Christmas one time doing a show, and I think I just met you casually there. Yeah. And then I started meeting you when I was coming out here more regularly, and we started hanging out.
I'm learning more about that as I get older, but it's that
failing memory. Or?
Yeah, no, like the expectations you have of other people, or like just the story you whip up in your head. Like you're like, oh, like how you just said, you're like, oh, he's probably been doing this a long time, and I'm like just some fucking kid trying to, like, I don't know
some
what I'm
asshole
doing. You know what I mean?
Jumping into this thing.
I still have no idea what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like when people are like, oh, you seem to have some kind of success, like, can you help me out? I'm like, sure, but like I literally don't make much more money than you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. It's when I was younger, and a lot dumber, I was in Amway, which is and it's a lot like
we've
that.
all sold knives.
It's a lot like that though. Like you meet these people who seem like they've been at this for a while and are making good money, and they're like, oh no, I'm working 4 jobs just to be able to buy these stupid books that I'm supposed to be reading, just like you are.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing in comedy. You get in and you're like, oh, that he's on 2 shows this week. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He must be a fucking expert.
Well, I think that's in LA too. It's funny in LA when you hear somebody says, you got 2 shows this week?
And then you see, like, sometimes you see a supporting actor from a sitcom, which is rarer and rarer these days, but You see him at like the comedy store, and you're like, that guy must be rich. And then you're like, oh no, he's probably got a small salary from that show, and then he still has to do comedy, you know, or whatever.
You see the car they drive away, and you're like,
missing a mirror.
You got hit up with that new SAG contract.
Yeah,
you did.
Bobby, you manage I'm going to say a staple in the LA area called Taste Chicago.
Yeah, outside of comedy, I also am the operations manager for the only Chicago-themed restaurant in the actual Los Angeles area.
Yeah, just a few blocks from here in Burbank, and it's called Taste Chicago. It's one of my favorite places. We do monthly trivia there.
We do.
Going to try and kicking it back up, maybe to bi-monthly.
Yeah,
is bi-monthly?
yeah.
No, it's every other month.
Twice a month, right?
Twice a month.
That's twice a month. Yeah.
Twice a month in 2018. But it's a great. It's a small place. It only seats maybe like 40, right?
Yeah, we've got I think room for like 40 or 45 people tops.
Got tons of TVs. If you're looking to watch Chicago sports, it's the place to go. It's owned by Joe Montaigne and his wife Arlene, and they're a super fun family and a lot of famous,
nicest rich people I've ever met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I met him.
I've ever met.
You introduced me to him not that long ago.
Yeah, real like progressive. They're probably open to being taxed more and letting their dollars go to the poor people. They're fine with that. They give a lot away. They do a lot for a lot of different people.
That's very cool,
and are very generous with their time. And the restaurant's great too. I mean, the food's good.
Yeah. And then there's so many celebrity sightings in there. You know, like any given day, some Chicago or Italian actor might stop in, like a George Wendt, or
guys who even have their garage nearby, that's covered in denim.
Oh, Mr. Leno stops in for a meatball
pretty much every Saturday. He's there for a good meal. I won't give the time away, but if you were just come and hang out on a Saturday, just to
look
ask
for the
Jay
denim
Leno
blimp.
Look for the insane car. If you ever drive by Taste Chicago and there's an insane car in the parking lot, he's probably inside because he usually brings a pretty crazy car when he comes.
It's either him or that clown posse.
Yeah, it's the two groups right there. That's right.
All right. Well, that is a good place. And if you ever want to see me doing live trivia there, you can check out triviawithbuds.com and see the next show. And you can also call the venue if you want to see like the exact date, because it does change from time to time. You guys, Jay and Bobby. Well, first, Jay, you were in a movie recently called Landline. Was that the name of it?
Yeah, that was one
last
of the
theatrical.
Actually, it's not the last one.
Oh no, what was the last one?
There's another one coming out called Glassjaw that'll be coming out next year, as well as The Workout Room.
There you go.
Just two black excellence all over the place. Look at this guy.
My black I would say black excellence, but my black excellence bank account don't reflect that.
Jay and I are just like those guys you were talking about earlier, where you might see somebody like Jay and be like, this motherfucker isn't
working everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Jay's one of those guys that he still might be sleeping on couches, but they're really nice couches.
Right. The level of couch that he's sleeping on has really gotten nicer lately. He even gets a Murphy bed every once in a while.
But it's Landline was fun with Tom Arnold, Nick Searcy, Betsy Brandt. That was a great lineup to be a part of. So I had a fun time doing that for sure.
Oh yeah,
filming in Wrigley Field. I'd never been in Wrigley Field before then.
Sure,
and we got to film at Wrigley Field on the field.
That's amazing.
With legendary Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg. So that was a dope experience to do that.
And think about how many people have never even set foot on the field. If they've gone to games, it's rare where you get to step on the field.
Never get to step on the field. So that was a great feeling doing that. But like Bobby said, I'm the guy that's working a lot, doing a lot of different things. And you'll be like, oh, he's got to be rich. And I'm like, oh, no, I got kids. So I'm not, You
were also becoming a bigger and bigger part of the Trivia Schmodown.
Yeah, the movie Trivia Schmodown.
Yeah.
Thanks to Collider Video. I'm on that a lot. You can download the movie Trivia Schmodown app to play against me at your Apple's iTunes store, whatever that is.
He's a playable character in a game.
Well,
that's
you
amazing.
play against me.
That's great.
And they're also working on getting it for Android as well.
There you go.
Screen Junkies and the rest of them. So yeah,
that is amazing. You guys have a podcast together called The Trusty Sidekick.
Yes,
it's all about movie and comic book culture news, things like that.
Everything in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universe.
So anywhere where they're hiring real actors to play roles where they're seen on screen.
Love it.
And they're wearing capes and masks.
There you go.
That's what we're doing.
The Trusty Sidekick can be found wherever podcasts are found. And my last bullet point for you guys is you were just on a game show. What was the game show you were on together as a team?
We were. Yeah, it was called Face Value.
Face Value.
They cast it, so I'm writing it. I'm putting it down on my credits. If you have to audition for it, it goes in the credits.
Like I'd hit up. I saw the posting about it.
Yeah.
And they were like looking for two friends that would be willing to do this. And I automatically. I didn't even tell them till later. I threw his name on it.
That is not a foreign thing.
It's a lot of stuff. I swear
to just tell me that some shit, and I'm like, I don't know if that's even the right idea for us.
Bobby, you and I are on Wheel of Fortune right after this.
Like in
2 hours.
It's usually what happens. Like, what are you doing later today? We got a premiere to go to, and then we got 2 parties we got to be at.
He'll be like, wait, what? I was like, yeah. So we need to do this, and he's gonna email you and everything. So we had to have one Skype audition.
Yeah,
and then we hadn't heard anything for a long time.
Sure,
like 6 or 7 months.
Oh, that's how it goes.
It was like
we thought it was dead. We were like, all right, well, I guess we're not doing this show.
And then all of a sudden we got an email. Hey, they love you. They want to cast you guys. They want to audition you again. We're like, okay.
Yeah, so we auditioned again for it.
And then found out we got it.
Like a day later, they're like, yeah, you're in.
It takes forever. I just got an email that said I did not get the new job to host The Tonight Show after Jay Leno left. After Leno left, I was waiting.
They're so behind at their emails.
So behind.
So yeah, we were on there. It did well.
Yeah.
You can find it at BET's website now. So
very good.
It's the episode with Slink Johnson versus Cedric Yarborough. That's
and you guys
episode.
are on Team Reno 911 or not Team Reno 911?
We're on Team Black Jesus.
We're on Team Black Jesus.
There you go.
Yeah, just
so
3
check
comics
that
hanging out talking shit
on the BET streaming website and see Bobby and Jake winning some money on that game show.
We did win some money.
Let's see who's going to win on this game show today. You guys are both kind of trivia buffs. I feel like you know a lot of stuff. Bobby, you host for me quite a bit, and Jay, you just schmo down and all these different things. You know some stuff.
This is what I do.
And Jay, you were on. If people want to listen to Jay again, about it was almost a year ago because it was last.
Yes.
It was the end of the year 2016 wrap up. It was a lot about celebrity deaths.
I remember that.
But that was a good trivia episode. It was my one of the only episodes where there's 3 guests and me.
Right.
So you guys were all kind of competing against each other.
Yeah.
So check that out.
We actually did one of your shows where we were on the same team.
That's right. You guys were on the team over on the
stream.
stream.tv when I was doing a little game show on there. It was like Marvel versus DC trivia.
And I remember getting messages about that. Somebody was watching live and they were like, "You were like a savant."
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you
really know your shit. All right. So let's see how much shit you know with these topics. These are the 5 topics Bobby gave me for the podcast. He said I would be good at answering questions on any of these. The first one of which was cars and driving. Bobby, what kind of car do you drive?
Right now, I've got a Ford Mustang.
Yeah,
it is not my favorite of cars that I've owned, but it's not a terrible car to drive. It's not bad. Do you
ever wear that cowboy hat behind you?
I do. I generally wear the cowboy hat when I'm driving. I take the top down and I put the cowboy hat on.
Very good. I dig that. Do you have any favorite movies that involve cars?
Yeah. I mean, it's a terrible movie, but Gone in 60 Seconds.
That's everybody's pretty much favorite.
Everybody loves that.
Of course.
Movie.
And also as terrible as they are, the Fast and Furious movies are fun to watch. Cars do things that cars never
are supposed to do,
like fly.
And you're just like, this takes place in an alternate dimension for sure. There's no way. There's no way on planet Earth.
Why is that car on the wing of a spaceship? Because they can do it.
They jumped the car from one building to another
flawlessly
with a dead actor in it.
Right.
Pretty tough to do.
Pretty crazy. Guy was dead in real life. And just still jumped it.
Still jumped the buildings. Your next topic was baseball. Just baseball in general.
Yeah, just baseball in general.
You work at a sports bar / restaurant.
I do. I spent a lot of time around. The Cubs did win last year. I'm a White Sox fan, but I'm okay with the Cubs winning. I survived it.
Right.
But yeah, I've always played baseball. I've got some. I always thought if my favorite job that I could ever have would be to be a bullpen catcher.
Sure.
Because there's just not a lot of work involved there. You get paid a couple $100,000. You travel around with a baseball team. You wear pajamas. You hang out in the sun all the time, and occasionally you play catch with a backup pitcher. You know what I mean?
Do you know what my backup job is?
Ever.
What's yours?
My backup job is librarian.
Ooh. It's so quiet.
It's so quiet.
I don't know why. I've always been fascinated by libraries, and I'm always walking in and going like, "What could be better in here?" I don't know. And you have to have a master's of library science to work in a library to have a real job.
You got that. You have to have that Dewey Decimal System shit down.
You got to be. There's a certain type of guy that works at a library though, and you're always like, "Oh, he's into something weird."
Oh, he watches all the weird.
That guy still collects wrestling action figures and sets up booking and matches disguised as playing with his daughter. Oh, wait. Is that one too inside for me? All right.
It's a little too close to home.
A little too close to home, but that's my backup. Yours is bullpen
catcher,
and that's baseball. Your second topic. Your next topic. This is where it gets the next two kind of crazy. Jay, you don't know Bobby's topics. So the next one, DMT, or psychedelic experiences.
Yeah.
Of course.
Big on DMT.
What does DMT stand for?
DMT is dimethyltryptamine, and it's a naturally occurring substance in your pineal gland and in pretty much everything, actually.
And what are you activating that with something? Or
you can, if you get DMT in the crystallized form, you can smoke it. You can squeeze the venom from toads in Mexico.
Oh, the licking of toads, is that the
You don't really
phrase?
lick them. You kind of you squeeze the venom out. And once it dries, you scrape it and then you smoke.
Have you done these
venom.
things or just research?
I've done DMT.
Oh yeah,
but I haven't done the toad venom thing. I'm now extremely interested in doing it.
Is this something you do like, and then you go to Coachella?
I would no. It's not really for partying. It's more for personal get-rightedness. You know what I mean? Mind expansion.
He's going to do this, and we're going to be recording an episode of the podcast one day, and all of a sudden he's going to have some weird-ass theories about Superman.
I'm usually on one of those things when I'm recording the podcast.
Anyway, so...
Jay, have you done any psychedelic drugs?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
And my goal is to do it and have a bow and arrow on stand. I don't know why.
I prefer to eat weed. I like mushrooms. I like low DMT.
I didn't start smoking pot until I had kids.
Yeah,
that's a good time to start.
It's
a good time to start.
And not really because...
It calms you the fuck down.
Yeah. It wasn't even like, oh, I have kids and now I'm going to do that. It just kind of naturally, it was like, well, I moved to California and then like...
My nerves need to calm down.
It's like easier to get than beer. Like there's more...
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean?
Well, if you're going to... the hangover from drinking beer all night and then having to deal with kids is way worse than just like smoking a joint and then waking up in the morning and dealing with kids, you know?
There you go. So I think I'm a few levels below DMT, but hey, maybe we'll have more kids.
Yes. At some point, you'll get to the DMT level.
Your next topic, sensory deprivation tanks.
Yeah.
I read in Rob Lowe's book, him and Andrew McCarthy did a very creepy one of these in Chicago in the late 80s for the movie Class. Do you remember that movie?
I don't.
It's Rob Lowe has a hot mom and Andrew McCarthy starts sleeping with her.
Of course.
And they're both like at a boarding school. And he doesn't realize it's his mom until she comes to visit or something. Kind of like a Mrs. Robinson type thing.
I like it. I'm already into this.
Yeah. But in Rob Lowe's book, he talks about talking Andrew McCarthy, or maybe Andrew McCarthy talking him into doing like some weird deprivation tank when it had just come out in the late 80s on the south side of Chicago in some weird dude's basement.
Yeah.
So that's my only experience. And then I think on The Simpsons, he licks toads on one episode, which we kind of just talked about, and he gets in a sleep deprivation tank.
I have a very Simpson-like life. Yeah.
With another one. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, big on sensory deprivation tanks.
Can you do those? Are they all over LA still?
They are, yeah. There's a great one in Pasadena. There's one in here in Burbank. The original one is in Venice.
You're completely in the dark and enclosed.
So you have a choice. I mean, I prefer to do it in the dark in an enclosed space. You can do it with the lights on. They do have lights on in there. There's like these little LED lights they use. You can do it with music playing the whole time. That is a thing people do. But generally, if you want to get the full experience of sensory deprivation, it's about 2 feet of water. It's about 1,000 pounds of Epsom salts, and it's an all.
How long you do? An hour?
About an hour, yeah.
And is it priced like a massage?
Yeah, it's pretty close to price.
Like $60 or something?
$60. Yeah, they do a lot of first-time deals where it's like $40, and then after that you can buy packages and stuff.
Do you do it like a massage a couple times a year or once a month? Or?
I try and go once every couple of months. It just depends on how my back feels generally, or where I'm feeling.
So is it more of a physical thing you're doing it for?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. I usually eat about 40 or 50 milligrams of edible marijuana.
Oh, really? So you're mixing and matching.
I'm trying to freak out a little bit, and then I just let my mind kind of
This is so interesting for me, and I do a podcast with him. I'm just listening like, wow.
But it's if you have soreness in your body, it's great because for one, you're laying in Epsom salts for an hour. But for two, the sensory deprivation kind of leads to disconnectedness of body parts.
Sure.
And so it allows you to kind of loosen your body up in a way you normally wouldn't.
My version of deciding if I should do an edible before I hop in a sleep deprivation tank is like, maybe I'll get the Malto meal Cinnamon Toast Crunch this week. Maybe I'll reach down to that lower shelf.
I recommend if you're not experienced with edibles that you don't use one the first time you go. You slowly work your way up. But I took I had a friend who's a 70-year-old dude who I took, and he ate an edible when he went in there and said he had a great time. So
very good.
You know.
Well, that's very educational. Sensory deprivation tanks.
Yeah.
Your last topic, of course, with your podcast title, Trusty Sidekick. It's just superheroes.
Yeah.
Pretty good at all of them.
I could have gotten a little more direct. You know, I have some favorites, but they're usually the general favorites like Batman, Spider-Man, Superman.
Are they still doing a Gambit movie with Channing Tatum?
They are still doing. They are still doing a Gambit movie. It's coming out on Valentine's Day in 2019, and it may be subtitled Forevermore, maybe retitled Forevermore. It's about the two.
It's
about the Assassin's Guild and the Thieves Guild.
It's retitled. It's not even Gambit anymore. It's just called Forevermore.
Is it just Forevermore now?
But it stars a Gambit character.
It's going to be Channing Tatum as Gambit.
I'm sorry. I get frustrated because we talk about this on our podcast, and I'm like, why?
Lizzie Kaplan in this movie also, by the way.
Interesting.
One of my favorites.
You just want to keep...
I do like Lizzie Kaplan.
I get that. All right.
There you go. Those are your 5 topics. Cars and driving, baseball, DMT, sleep tanks, and superheroes. Jay, we're going to jump into your topics.
Okay.
The first one, Back to the Future.
Damn right.
Favorite movie of all time?
Yeah, my favorite trilogy.
Nice, easy, non-drug related.
Even the third. I even like the third
because
of
kids?
how stupid it is. Non-drug.
You just like old Western bullshit.
No, I was like, I don't know, ain't that horse.
I saw Back to the Future 3 in a bargain theater with my cousins.
Sounds about right.
Nice. Nice.
I bought the whole pack. I bought the trilogy collector set on a Black Friday for like $5.
Oh yeah, that's
and
a
I
good
just
deal.
sat up and rewatched it numerous times.
They're all pretty good, huh? They're all pretty good.
You know, sometimes you gotta sit past the third with it, like just suck it up.
Sometimes you got to go backwards to go forwards.
That's right.
Is that the tagline?
You just watch it in reverse, and then all of a sudden,
No, then I'd be on DMT. See how that count ties in?
We did Back to the Future on the podcast before. Maybe we'll be doing it again. You never know. Your next topic, again, tagging off of superheroes, comic book films.
Damn right. And this doesn't just go Marvel and DC.
Sure, like a graphic novel, like a Watchmen,
like a Watchmen,
which is now owned by DC, right?
You know, yes,
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
Yep, Sucker Punch.
I almost got him on that one.
Yes, you definitely Sucker
Sin
Punch.
City.
Yes, I know these certain ones. You're not gonna let me just bring them out, are you? You know, Kingsman, Kick-Ass, things like that. So yes,
Very
That's how
good.
our podcast goes.
Comic book films. Give me your favorite comic book film sequel of all time. What's your favorite sequel?
Thor Ragnarok.
Really? The most recent.
Most recent one.
I thought it was a lot of fun. Very entertaining.
Because it was completely different from what we are used to.
Yeah.
It's not Kenneth Branagh.
It's not Kenneth Branagh like a Shakespearean play.
I saw Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
How was that?
Kind of like that.
Okay.
It's kind of like
So yeah, I have fun with them. It's between like I like the laughs, the jokes, and everything. So with Thor Ragnarok, and I also can go Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah,
because that was a perfect espionage movie.
That is really, really good. Your next topic, 80s, 90s shows. How about TGIF? Are you one of those guys?
Yes. Shouts out to Jodie Sweetin. Shout out to Jodie Sweetin, Beverly Mitchell, and Christine Lake, and the now known as Hollywood Darlings. I bring it up because I did an episode of the show with them. She plugged. Don't judge me.
I thought he was maybe sleeping with him.
I wish I was. Jodie Sweetin.
Those couches got room.
Whose couch are you on?
Oh, are you sleeping on Sweeten's couch?
Step by
Is that the sweetest Sweeten couch you could be on?
Man, it's full of her house.
I heard it's a love seat.
Nah, they're cool, but like things, TGIF, you know, shows like Small Wonder, Alf, a lot of shows forgotten about, Family Matters, things like that. Yeah. So yeah,
who forgot about Family Matters?
I'm just bringing it.
Do you know anybody? Who you talking to? Some people just like I totally forgot about
because people just only remember Urkel. Okay, people don't remember nobody else in the show. We forget that Judy got sitting upstairs to go to bed, and the next time we saw, she was doing porn. Okay, those are the
it's a rare condition this day and age
to read any good news on the newspaper page.
Love and tradition, the grand design.
Some people say it's even harder to find,
but there must be some magic too
inside these gentle walls.
That's all I know.
Because all I see is a tower of dreams.
Oh no, he was trying to move on.
Bursting out of every scene.
It's almost like someone started the DVDs.
Everywhere you look, guys.
Everywhere you look.
That's Full House.
It could have gone right into it.
It could have gone right.
Somebody should do a mashup.
I think there is one somewhere. That's why I did that.
That would be cool because then you could have like Michelle coming down the stairs, like someone
sending Judy up the stairs.
Yeah. Very good.
And Stephanie just going, "How rude."
Your next topic, Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yes, man, love Tarantino.
What do you think about QT doing this Manson movie?
I didn't know he was doing a Manson movie. I knew he was supposed to be doing a Star Trek movie.
Well, a couple weeks before the Star Trek news broke, which is crazy, which is like everyone will flock to see that.
Because you get a new retelling of the story.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a Weinstein movie, this Charles Manson murder, and then I think they found
that's what it was. Okay, that was the movie. Okay,
and it's all about I think is it Shannon or Sharon?
Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate's last days and things like that. But I think it'll be told in the Tarantino way.
Well, in other words, so 70,000 N-words in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah. How are they going to fit all these N-words into a movie that's not about, but doesn't have any black people in it?
He'll find a way.
He'll find a way.
It'll just be Samuel Jackson will be like a cop or something involved. Samuel's saying it all the time.
Just driving around. What?
Well, I don't know if you guys read this. Sam Jackson is playing Manson. So it's going to be a good one.
Swastika and everything. It's going to be really wild.
Kanga hat and swastika, yeah. Instead of the little kangaroo, it's a swastika.
As long as they give him the hair that he had.
Kangaroo with the swastika logo on there.
Stitched in white.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
I have a hard time. I mean, I know that great movies have been made about horrible things that have happened, like a Schindler's List, for example.
Yes.
But I always have a hard time when it's about specifically, I don't know why, a serial killer.
Summer Sam was like that.
Yeah, because I just feel like it's glorifying a serial killer.
My only problem is that they try and humanize him. If they try and make him seem like somebody who was just like, well, he just went down a bad path and he just decided to kill everybody.
That's kind of like everyone keeps telling me My Friend Dahmer is really good, and I'm like, but it's
first of all, it's called My Friend Dahmer.
Yeah, I'm like, it's still like.
Don't try and show me how he was a good buddy who just occasionally wanted to eat some brains.
He just happened to make people in the chili.
People ask me a lot too. They're like, hey, you should do a round about serial killers, and I'm like, yeah, but that they like 8 people sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, which one of these guys ate a family? You're like, all right. It just
this guy like to slaughter his victims in the basement.
Question number 4. We're talking chili. Who used the ankles?
Oh God! Your last topic was just in general pop culture.
Pop culture, man. You got to stay abreast on it nowadays. Doing all the different things I do. Could you kind of? You wanted to have the damn DMT.
Sorry, you said abreast, and I.
What kind of questions were you guys doing on the game show? Was it pop culture stuff?
It was basically you were judging people. It's what I do in life.
You're basically profiling people.
You're profiling people. You're guessing what they're going to say based off of previous responses to questions.
They had Tiffany Haddish out in Vegas stopping people, and she'd ask them like 3 kind of basic questions, and then she'd hit them with something like out of the blue.
Yeah.
And catch them kind of giving their most honest answer. And then we'd have to guess whether they're...
I love it. That's pretty awesome. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So those are your topics.
Yeah.
Back to the Future, comic book films, 80s, 90s shows.
Those are complete polar opposites compared to Bobby's show.
The topics I chose for you guys. You ready?
Yeah.
Bobby, your topic is cars and driving.
Okay.
And Jay, yours is comic book films.
Okay.
So those are the 2 topics we chose. We got to come up with a buzz-in word that you guys will use. You got to wait for the whole question to be read, and then you'll buzz in with this word to try and answer it. What is a good buzz-in word for you guys?
Sidekick.
Oh, yeah. Good advertising there, the trusty Sidekick podcast. So the word is sidekick to buzz in. Wait for the whole question to be read, then buzz in. You get 1 point when you get your topics question right. So Bobby, if you get a cars question, you get 1 point. If you can steal one of Jay's comic book film questions, you get 2 points. And vice versa, Jay, for you and cars. Okay? So we'll start it off right now. This is round 1. This is called the Trivia Showdown.
Trivia Showdown.
All right. So we're going to start with cars. This is question number 1. Either of you can buzz in with the word sidekick. Here we go. What does the car-related acronym RPM stand for?
Sidekick.
Bobby.
Revolutions per minute.
It is revolutions per minute, and that's 1 point for Bobby. Did you know it was revolutions?
Yes, I did.
I thought it was rotations for a long time, and then I looked it up, and I went, ooh, Revolutions, which was a short-lived Jon Favreau-produced NBC show.
It was.
Revolution. Question number 1 for comic book films. In what film did Ryan Reynolds first make an appearance as Deadpool?
Sidekick.
Jay Washington.
As Deadpool? Mm-hmm. Deadpool.
Sidekick.
Incorrect. Bobby.
Wolverine.
X-Men Origins Wolverine was the answer.
Damn it. I forgot
bogus-ass Deadpool.
Because I didn't think we were counting him as
Deadpool. He was Deadpool. He was Wade Wilson. Yes, he was.
No, he was Wade Wilson. He wasn't
Deadpool.
Still
Deadpool. He had on the outfit and the costume. He was Deadpool.
No, he did not have on that outfit.
He did have on the outfit.
No, he did not.
He had on the red outfit.
No, he did not.
Yes,
he did not.
Yes, he did.
Bobby,
you know that's who he is.
Bobby, he
never had anything on because when we finally saw him beat anybody, they stitched his mouth shut and he had on lab pants.
Early on, before they did all that shit to him, he was wearing the red outfit, the swords. He's still Deadpool.
Okay.
I didn't actually research it as much as you guys probably know. So that's what I was going
Wade
for.
Wilson.
But
Wade Wilson is Deadpool. Come on.
Doesn't he?
That's why.
Homage to it in the new movie. Like
that's why he talks about it. He has the little figure of him.
That's right.
He has a little figure. That's why like he wasn't Deadpool. He was okay. If you'd have said Wade Wilson, I'd have known.
You know what that question was about.
Let's go.
Question number 2 for cars. Let's see if Jay can steal this one for a couple of points against Bobby. Number 2. What kind of car does Vin Diesel drive in the Fast and the Furious 1?
Sidekick.
Bobby.
Dodge Charger.
It is a Dodge Charger.
I can't remember that car.
Right now it is 4-0. Let's see if Jay can jump in on his own topic here. This is comic book films. Number 2. What year did Howard the Duck come out?
Sidekick.
Jay.
1988.
Incorrect. Bobby, you got a guess?
1986.
It is 1986.
What?
And that is 2 more points for Bobby, giving him 6-0 right out the gate. We'll have to get Bobby over on the Schmodown.
We'll see this
Call Collider.
I got to go to the Schmodown. Where's Collider at? Call him up.
Jay's looking pretty mad.
Maybe you can manage me if I go to Collider.
Question number 3 for cars. What brand of car seemingly has an owl for a logo? I don't think it's actually an owl, but it kind of looks like an owl. People think it's an owl. What brand of car has a owl for a logo?
I'm gonna guess Sidekick. Toyota.
Incorrect. Jay?
Sidekick, Mazda.
It is Mazda. And that is 2 points for Jay.
Okay.
Right there. It's like the little kind of the nose and the circle.
All right,
yeah.
Sure.
All right, so 2 points for Jay. Bobby's got 6. This is question number 3 for comic book films. Who played Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins?
Sidekick.
Jay.
Liam Neeson.
It is Liam Neeson, and it's 3-6, just like that. No shutouts on this podcast. Right back in there. Question number 4 for Cars. What gaming company published the game Crazy Taxi? What gaming company published the game Crazy Taxi back in 1990 something? I think it was 99.
Sidekick.
Jay.
Konami.
It is not Konami. Bobby.
Rocksteady.
It is not Rocksteady. It was actually Sega. It's a Sega published game.
1990. Should have thought about that.
1990. I think it was 96 or 99. But yeah, it was Sega.
Okay.
And no points there. The first no point question. Here's number 4 for comic book films. What actor first played the Punisher in a theatrical film?
Sidekick.
Jay.
Dolph Lundgren.
It is Dolph Lundgren. That is 4-6. I used to own that on DVD and watch it all the time.
Yeah.
It was the worst one.
Real bad one. Yeah.
It's the worst one.
Even Warzone, Punisher
It's
Warzone.
so bad.
Warzone is good. It gives you the violence and the action you want.
I guess that's true.
And Dominic West's Jigsaw, we just talked about that. Is
much
amazing.
better.
Yes. Question number 5. We're back to Cars. What was the name of the teacher that drove the magic school bus? This isn't really a car. It's more of a bus-related question, but I thought it was a fun question. What is the name of the teacher who drove the magic school bus? Jay and Bobby at a
You know
loss.
you win. So I don't.
Down the river of lava. That's from the theme song. Any guesses, Jay or Bobby?
I didn't have that kind of childhood.
It's Miss something. Miss. She's
Miss.
not married.
I can't remember. I know it's Miss something. I don't think it's Miss Lizzie. Something.
I will give you a hint that you are close.
Miss Frizzy.
Bobby, I'm going to let you decide if Jay gets the points. It's Miss Frizzle.
No.
Of course he won't.
Here's
Just
what I'm
tried to
gonna do.
rhyme Frizzy with Lizzie. He didn't.
Here's what I'm going to do. Instead of 2 points, because it's your topic, Bobby, I'm going to give Jay 1, which means it is 5-6.
All right,
How's that?
I can live with that. That's reasonable.
5-6. All right. Magic School Bus, not a car, but a bus. Miss Frizzle. Question number 5 for comic book films. True or false? Okay, so you got a 50-50 chance on this one. True or false? Atomic Blonde is based off a graphic novel.
Sidekick.
Bobby.
True.
It is true.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 2 points for Bobby.
I was like,
8
if you're talking about Charlize
5.
Theron, I'm on top of it.
When you said Atomic Blonde.
Paying attention.
Did you guys see the movie?
Yes, I did.
I thought it was great.
Saw it opening weekend. Are you kidding me?
I really enjoyed it.
I will go see every Charlize Theron movie on opening weekend just in case I ever meet her and I can tell her
Everything you've seen.
I enjoyed Reindeer
I'm sure
Games
that will win
2.
her over.
Monster is still
I enjoyed Monster 2. I can't believe you did the
There's
sequel.
no Charlize Theron movie I've missed.
My God, you as Imperial Furiosa in Mad Max Fury Road, you were phenomenal.
All right, here's question number 6. We're back to Cars. Who did the voice of Doc Hudson in the movie Cars? Who did the voice of Doc Hudson in the movie Cars? Buzz in with Sidekick, thinking it over.
Doc is
Who could it be?
Oh my God, I have kids and I hate this.
You have kids and you hate kids?
I hate this. I don't know.
Doc Hudson. Bobby, any guesses?
Oh my God.
Jay, anything?
Cars is like the only Pixar movie I've paid.
Because I bet you I'm gonna be so
I haven't
mad.
seen it either.
My struggle is when they put the eyes in the windshield,
instead of
they
the
lost
headlight.
it on me.
Okay, because I know
I've never drawn a car.
this is how I know, because I know Owen Wilson is Lightning. I know Larry the Cable Guy is Mater, and I can't remember who is Doc Wilson for the life of me.
The answer?
Doc Hudson. Go.
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman.
The late, great Paul Newman, one of his last movies.
dead.
Number 6.
I forgot him.
That's right.
Once they die, I forget.
Number 6 for comic book films. Who wrote the graphic novel and later film From Hell? Who wrote the graphic novel and later film From Hell? Jay was touting he knew all graphic novel related
They say all of them.
movie questions. This is a very thick book.
Yeah, because that's the one that Jennifer Lopez ended up doing.
I don't think she was in this one.
No, not From Hell. That's another one.
Oh.
That's The Cell or something like that.
I would like to see J-Lo in From Hell. Do you know the name of the
Sidekick.
writer? What do you got, Bobby?
I'm going to say Neil Gaiman.
Very good guess. Incorrect. That is probably the best second guess.
Ooh.
Jay, anything?
I don't have it.
Nothing? Alan Moore.
Ooh,
I wouldn't
that's
have
a
got
good
it.
call.
That's a good
Killing
call.
Jokes.
Yeah,
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore.
As well as Watchmen. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Question. No points there. Question number 7 for Cars in 1929. What did I write here? Oh, yeah. In 1929, what highway bridged the gap from Chicago to L.A.?
Sidekick.
Jay.
Route 66.
Route 66 is correct, and that's 2 points. So it's 7 to 8. 7 to 8. It's only 1 point game. And Jay was losing off the bat. Now he's almost tied it up. Question number 7 for comic book films. In what movie would you first find a character named Scott Lang?
Sidekick.
Yes.
Ant-Man.
It is Ant-Man.
I'm not doing it.
2 points there.
I couldn't get it out fast enough.
10 to 7. Bobby's winning by a few points. Is that accurate? That's the first, because he's not, and then he's
not
in
anything
a
else.
sequel,
He's not anything
Captain
else.
America,
No.
Civil War.
He's in Captain America, Civil War.
Civil War,
that.
but first it's an Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Very good. All right, question number 8 for Cars. In what 1968 cartoon series would you find a character named Penelope Pitstop? I feel like I got some good questions for you guys.
I do have good questions.
Oh my God. It's
Penelope Pitstop, 1968 cartoon series.
Oh, Sidekick.
Yep.
Speed Racer.
Incorrect. Bobby, can you pull it? It's not Speed Racer, but Bobby might be able to figure this one out.
I don't freaking know. I don't know.
Nothing?
No, it's not going to matter. How long I
The great something.
Wacky Races.
Wacky Race. Because it's Muttley and all them.
Yeah, that's with Muttley.
I was thinking Muttley at first.
The whole crew.
I mean, if you'd asked me to name Muttley, I could have named Muttley.
I could name Muttley.
But the name of the show I did not have.
It was, you guys were so close, so close. Question number 8 for comic book film movies. Who is the main villain in Spider-Man 2?
Sidekick.
Bobby.
I said Bobby.
Dr. Octopus.
It is Dr. Octopus, and that's 2 more points. 12 to 7. Jay had it, but buzzed in a little bit off. Bobby was a little bit quicker on that one. Yeah, I think that's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
It's really good.
And then Homecoming's probably a good second.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I would go with that.
Question number 9. We have 2 questions left for each category. Number 9 for Cars. What band had a 1975 song called I'm in Love with My Car? 1975 song. A band had a song called I'm in Love with My Car. In 1975, what band was it? Number 9 for Cars.
Sidekick. I'll take a guess.
What do you got?
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead. Great guess. Incorrect. Bobby?
I'm going to say Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Casey and the Sunshine Band. Another good guess. It was Queen.
Ooh.
Queen. I'm in Love with My Car. No points there. Question number 9 for comic book films. In Batman versus Superman, we all love this movie.
Terrible.
Batman versus Superman. What finally in Batman versus Superman, what name finally bonds the foes?
Sidekick.
Bobby.
Martha.
It is Martha. That is 2 more points. So it is 14 to 7. Jay, you still have a few chances to tie it
Because I
up.
knew it just as much as he did.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, it's Martha.
Your mama named Martha? Why
are you saying? What is it? It's a terrible movie. I saw it with Ken Gar in theaters.
So bad.
Number 10 for Cars. This is the last Cars question of the podcast. What is on Ryan Gosling's jacket in the movie Drive? What is on Ryan Gosling's jacket? It's on the back.
Sidekick.
Bobby.
Is it a dragon?
Incorrect. Jay, I'm going to give you the hint of he was kind of close-ish. Not really, though. More of an
Sidekick.
More of an insect. Can Jay pull it off? Big old one of these in the back of Ryan Gosling's jacket in Drive.
Spider.
It was a scorpion.
Scorpion.
That's
right.
For the stuntman of Ryan Gosling's character. No points there. Number 10 for comic book films. In what Batman movie does Robin say, "Holy rusted metal, Batman"?
Sidekick.
Jay.
Batman and Robin. No.
Bobby. Batman movie, "Holy rusted metal, Batman." It's not Batman and Robin.
Batman Forever?
It is Batman
it's
Forever.
It's forever.
2 more points.
It's forever. Because I was like,
15 to 7.
Yeah.
So you've doubled Jay's score. We have a couple more things to do. Those were the first 20 questions. What did you guys think?
I thought it was pretty fun.
I hate you.
Too hard? Jay, I feel like you knew all of them.
They seem to be right up in Jay's alley. I just happened to get in before
Boy, that's
did.
all it was.
Yeah.
There you
It
go.
was just, I knew everyone
buzzer.
he got. I was like, yo, I know him.
Quick on the buzzer. That's what the ladies say.
Well, the score 15 to 7 right now. A few more things Jay can do to kind of try and bounce back, and we're going to start with that bounce back right now. This is round 2. This is called the combo question.
Combo question.
Now, the combo question combines both topics in some way. It's a little bit harder. If you get it right, you get 2 points just for answering it. You're going to buzz in with Sidekick as well. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. What Marvel film director had a short film in 2004 called 2 Cars, 1 Night. So we're looking for a Marvel film director who had a short film in 2004 called 2 Cars, 1 Night. If you get this right, you get 2 points.
Sidekick.
Bobby.
Taika Waititi.
It is Taika Waititi. Good job, Bobby, for 2 points. Oh, my God. Jay is dumbfounded. It is 17-7. Bobby's winning by 10. Jay.
You gonna keep saying that? I mean, we know what the score is, okay?
Did you have any idea about that one?
I had no. I was sitting there thinking James Gunn's resume, Favreau's resume.
James Gunn, both of them would have been.
I was thinking Favreau, Gunn's resume. Taika, I would have thought it was When We Were Something. It's the other one I'd have thought of. I wouldn't have thought of that.
It was a short film.
Yeah. So that was very good job, Bobby. We have 1 round left. It's called Categories with Buds.
Categories with Buds.
We're going to go around in the circle. I'm going to play with you guys. We each name something from this category, and if you can name one, you're still in. If you can't name one, you say one that's already been said, or you take more than 5 seconds, you're eliminated. Last person standing gets 3 points for their score. So Jay, you can jump up to 10, or Bobby, you can get 20 points.
Repeat this game one more time for me.
You're going to be naming something from a certain category. So in episodes past, we've done things like spaces on a Monopoly board or types of cars.
Got it.
But today, we're going to be doing magazines.
Got it.
So magazines from throughout history. It could be current, could be old. As long as we all heard of it, it counts. And I'll kick it off with highlights for children. Highlights. Bobby, what do you got?
Popular Mechanics.
Popular Mechanics. Jay?
Ebony.
All right.
Wired.
Wait, hold on. Ebony, I'm going to say, what's a good white magazine? Home and Garden.
Wired.
Good Housekeeping.
Good Housekeeping. I'm going to say Playboy.
Entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Hustler.
Penthouse.
Time.
Cosmopolitan.
Red Book.
Tiger Beat.
Essence.
Vogue.
Jet.
People.
Teen Vogue.
Sports Illustrated for kids.
Sports Illustrated.
Ranger Rick.
Car and Driver.
Right On.
Boy's Life.
Road and Track.
Men's Health.
Maxim.
Automobile.
King.
What's King?
King is a magazine.
Yep.
It's a magazine.
It's not for you.
It's not
Do I not look of goddamn royalty? Come on. I think I'm out. I can't think of another one. It's down to you guys. Bobby versus Jay.
Details.
Smooth.
High Times.
They're great. So quiet. I love the tense nature of this contest. Jay, 3 seconds.
Spiegel. It's a catalog.
What do you buy in Spiegel?
You buy like stuff for your house and different things and all that.
Do you want to count it, Bobby, to keep it interesting?
Sure.
You are winning by
guns
10
and ammo.
points. Guns and ammo.
Women's Health.
Field and Stream.
Why do you pick all the ones I want to say that I have in my backup?
I think that's a win.
God, no, it's not. It
The
can't.
supreme winner of the podcast is Bobby Hill. Woo. That's 3 points. It was a final score here of 20 points for Bobby to 7 for Jay, 20 to 7.
Challenger.
And wow, Jay's going to be pissed for a while.
Get you a check.
Guys, thank you so much for doing the show. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. So much fun. 3 trivia people together.
Yeah, there you go.
This is good.
Destroy friendships. What do you guys want to plug you have coming up? Everybody definitely check out the Trusty Sidekick podcast, wherever podcasts are found.
We just had the last episode.
What day of the week does it come out?
It usually comes out early in the week, so Tuesday, Wednesday, generally. There's all the shows have gone on. All the shows have gone on winter hiatus except for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we'll be doing a lot of news and recaps of the year and
love it.
Best movies, best TV shows of the year, things like that. So
and then we'll be doing a fight to the death. But
do you guys do live shows with the podcast around LA?
We have not done them yet. We're trying to set that up. We want to make sure we get the feedback for if we set it up that the response is for it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'd like to do a comedy show with some of the actors who've been on there because there's comics who've been on a lot of those shows like Matt Bronger and Tone Bell. And so ideally at some point I'd like to do like that would be super fun. A superhero comedy show.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's easy to get people to come out and whatnot and just, figuring the space to do it and make sure we can bring the people in to see it. So that's a goal. I'm still pissed off right now. I am so pissed off right now. I am so mad because it's like I had Ant-Man in my head. Martha was definitely.
Me too. I just got him out first.
You know what? That's because I got an abscess in the back of my mouth.
And where can people follow you guys on Twitter? Is it Sidekick Trusty?
Yeah, Sidekick Trusty is on Twitter. TheTrustySidekick.com is the website. So we do video reviews. We actually write articles that we put up as news comes out.
Sure.
We post all of our shows on there as well. You can find our Patreon if you feel like supporting us a little bit.
Yeah, please. We have different tiers for people who support the Patreon, different things you can get.
And Bobby, you're Mocha_Jesus on Twitter.
Mocha_Jesus
and you're
on Twitter
Mr.
and
J.
Instagram.
Washington?
Yes, Mr. J. Washington.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me over. Thanks for being on the show, and have a good end of the year.
Of course.
You
Chicago
too. Thank
forever.
you.
There it is, Bobby Hill, and sort of a landslide victory. That's kind of how the episode started out, and then Jay kind of came back, and then Bobby really put the nail in the coffin by winning 20-7. So that was a great episode. Thank you so much to Bobby Hill and Jay Washington from the Trusty Sidekick podcast. Go definitely find that podcast. It's a super fun one, and I'm sure I'll be a guest on it at some point in the very near future. Find that show and listen to it. New episodes every week. If you like this show, we put it out every Tuesday morning. Tell a friend. That's the biggest thing you could do. Forward an email, tweet a link, message a link. That would be amazing to spread the word. Find somebody that likes to play along with trivia. That's what this show is mainly used for. And a lot of couples are always diving in and kind of battling in each other's, to see who's better in the relationship at certain types of trivia. I have a lot of fun stuff coming up for you if you like the show. I have a store that's going to be added to my website, triviawithbuds.com. We're going to have 5 items right away available, and all items will be worth thousands of dollars in the future. But they'll all be priced at $20. So every item on the website will be $20. We'll have some really cool swag coming for you if you want to support the show. That's all on the way. Another way to support the show for free is to review the episode on iTunes, review the show, review a certain episode, whatever you want to do, just leave a review. That helps us get up there in the iTunes charts. I'll be adding this show to Spotify very soon. I just have to clean up a few episodes, and then we'll be submitting the feed to Spotify. So that's right around the corner, and a bunch of other fun stuff coming in 2018. Another free way to support the show is to tell a friend. We've mentioned that a million times. Just tell a friend about the show. And we also have an Amazon wish list. If you want to check that out, it's on triviawithbuds.com/podcast. And you can buy something off the wish list. If you want to donate something to the show that would help the show become better week to week, you can also donate on PayPal if you want to do that. That is all the closing notes for this episode. Hope you had a good time. Go check out an older episode of the show and play against somebody that you love. If you have any topics coming up that you would like to hear on the show, sometimes I do individual episodes where it's just me asking trivia questions. If there's a certain topic that you want to be quizzed on, let me know. Send me an email, ryanbudds@gmail.com, and I'll make sure I get to that topic in the very near future. You can also send me an email if you have questions about starting your own trivia night. I have been getting a lot of those lately, and that's about all I got for you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend. Have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next week for more Trivia with Buds. Bye-bye.